Hello, thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I want to speak today about leaving a legacy, a lasting legacy, something which for the past years in my life has been a determining factor and the purpose of what I want to leave to my children and to the world for the things that I have done. I have been taught since I was a young man, a very young boy, by my father, that the actions that we perform in this world have a lasting effect and a tremendous type of repercussion, both positively or negatively depending on the action, throughout the rest of the world. There are 9 points which I would like to bring up to you. 9 directives which I believe are the necessity and the basis for leaving a legacy. First and foremost, the very first point is that needs to be emphasized is that life is best lived in service of others. It's interesting. Typically, we don't think about this because we think more of ourselves and we think about other people. This doesn't mean that we don't strive for the best for ourselves. No. You have to take care of yourself. But it does mean that in all things we serve other people, including our family, our co-workers, our colleagues, our friends. We serve them, and we serve them in such a way that they benefit also from what happens in this world. In other words, when I do something, I think about them as well. Not just about me. How will it affect them? How will it transfer to them? How will it have some kind of a positive or negative up or down scale as to what it is that I have done? Everything that you do has a repercussion. Everything that you do does have some type of an effect on them. Do it in such a way that it has a positive effect on them. And know that you're not by yourself. Know that you're not an island in the middle of this vast universe. You're actually a part and parcel of every single creation in this world. And your actions will affect the rest of the world for the rest of eternity. That's the very first thing. Number 2 has to do with considering others' interest as important as your own. Often we think of us, we think of ourselves, we say, you know what, this is good for me, but it's not necessarily good for other people. But I have to think of myself. I have to protect myself, to protect my family. Much of the world suffers simply because people consider only their own interest. People are looking out for their number one by the way they live a life in such a way where everything is about themselves. You see, to leave a legacy, you also have to look out for others. You have to pay attention. Will others benefit? Will it leave a change in the world? And how does that affect them? Number 3 has to do with loving your fellow as yourself, loving your neighbor as yourself, loving other people as you love yourself. You know, it's interesting that it says to love others, but it doesn't say to like another. You know why? The difference is this: to like a person, to like another, has to deal with emotions. But to love someone has to do with actions. And you'll always find somebody at one point in time that initially will start loving someone and they'll end up liking them. With the actions, with the things that you do, with giving to others more than what you've got, more than what you expect for yourself, others will benefit and you'll end up not only creating a better world, but setting this legacy into motion. Very, very important concept. Number 4, extremely important point that has been in my life, and to maintaining integrity at all costs. There are very few things that a person takes to the grave. One is a reputation, another one is a good name. And that's about all we can take with us. You want most people to say about you, gosh, you know, this was an honest man. He's full of integrity. This is such a good person. And you know, there's always a temptation to come around and says, don't do this, that, the other. All of these other temptations. The answer to those is don't do it. Do the right thing at all time, no matter what the cost is. Maintain your integrity and do the right thing for the right reason at the right time with the right people. And you know what it is. You don't need guidance on most of these things. We know it. We often don't listen to that voice. Number 5 in my list, which I, as a young man that was growing up with and always realized, and that in order to benefit, in order to gain, you must risk in order to gain. You have to put in some kind of an involvement. You see, in almost all areas of life, you have to risk something to gain a reward. It's just what it is. For instance, in love, in order to possibly have this date with this one person, you must risk a possible rejection. It's just what it is. It's the way it works. In investing, you also have to place your capital into the market in order to receive the prize of growing your bank account. Once you risk, you gain. And when you gain, you will grow. Without the risking, there's not possibility. I know I see this many times with the doctors that often will tell me, I don't know if I could make the investment. But that's what it is. It's that investment that will get you the growth. The profits, both from a spiritual and material standpoint, will come from that risk. But you have to invest. You have to take a chance. You have to take a risk. And then you'll grow from there. Another thing that you have to remember is what you reap is what you sow. It is an interesting concept, and this saying has been said over and over again. But in fact, almost always, and this has been throughout my life, and I've seen it, and many people will vouch for that, that you always reap more than you sow. You plant a seed, and before you know it, you reap a bushel. I mean, it's amazing. And what you give, you get. As a matter of fact, what you put into the ground, when you sow into the ground, comes out of the ground, grows out of the ground. It doesn't stay there. It doesn't stay stuck. It grows out of there. It proliferates. And if you give love, you'll receive love. If you give time, you'll receive more time. You'll gain it. It's just a true law of the universe. I can't tell you how many times people have come to me, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, family members, and they've asked me questions. I'm a philosopher. I love to believe in principles. And by sharing these principles, sometimes they've asked me to explain them to them, and I've taken time. But even though I was busy doing other things, I knew I could have lost it. But you know what? By giving that time, I benefited. And I can tell you that the time that I gave was given back to me. Somehow my day became longer. Somehow what was going to happen, what I had to do, what I was scheduled for, extended itself, and I was able to do it. I never lost. What you reap, you sow, and the more you give, the more you get back. Number 7 on my list is hard work is never a waste. You can never, ever, ever say that you've put in the effort and you have not succeeded. It's an old saying that is so true. It is just amazing in how this works. Hard work will leave you a legacy. While on this journey in this world, you'll give it all you've got, but you'll benefit from it, and so will the world. You will do a lot of good things, and you can leave a terrific legacy by putting in the time. It may seem at times that you're working too hard, but the truth is, at the end of the day, you will leave a legacy. You will make an imprint, a tremendous imprint on this world, and it will leave these imprints forever, and many people will benefit from that. That's just a blessing in itself. Number 8 on my list is about giving up. You see, you can't give up when you fail. Failure is just a must. That's just what happens. Imagine how many businesses would have not been able to succeed or would have shut down if they had quit after their first failure. All of the examples that we have of every single invention in this world started with trials, started with failures, but they finally succeeded because they tried again and again. Those who succeed are those who don't give up. And when they fail, they start again, and they try again, and they keep on trying. They keep on giving until it comes about. Last but not least on my list is about ever the ambition to stop about the pursuit of a legacy. You have to live a life and lead it in such a way that you're making the imprint and making the message and putting through into your life, into your energy, into this vital energy that we were given in this world, to leave a legacy. Most people have accomplished tremendous things. Most people are remarkable. They can do so many things. But sometimes people say, I can't change. I can't change what I've done. I'm already 20, I'm 30, I'm 40. At my age, this is who I am. It's not true. For things to change, you have to change. You're not a tree. A tree can't move. That's where it is, and that's where it is. But as a person, as a human being, we have the options, we have the ability, we have the capacity, and we have the mental power to change. We can make these changes. You just have to want to. And when you do that, you'll create that legacy. If a habit was done and it wasn't what you want, change it. This is who you are, this is what you are, and this is what you become. But you can make that change in the principle. These are the principles which I have lived by all my life, which I believe that if you want to leave a legacy and if you want to have a lasting effect on the world, that you have to remember. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me a chance to listen to me and certainly to impress upon you the beautiful things that we can do in this world. God has endowed us, each and every human being, with unique abilities to perform and to give to the world unbelievable amount of love by spreading goodness and sharing among each other. All of those wonderful things. This explosion of technology which we have seen in the last few years has given us the ability to connect to one another and promote constant communication. Let's use it wisely. Let's use it in the ability to communicate in such a way where we not only help one another but support one another in everything that we do, both on a local level, state level, federal level, national level, and global level. Let's make this a lasting effect, a lasting legacy. Make yourself a lasting legacy for you and your generations to come. God bless you in everything that you do. I appreciate you taking the time.